passion and pageantry of college football lives here. This is the Paul Feinbaum Show, Hour 4 podcast.
This might be college football heaven.
Have everybody here as the final hour is underway. Let's get right to the calls. And Blaine is up next in Georgia. Hey, Blaine.
Hey, Paul. Wanted to get your opinion. I was watching the segment you had with Brett McMurphy, and I saw that he had Washington listed number 10, and I saw that they were number 19 in the coaches poll and 17 today in the AP poll. Is there something that I'm missing, or just wanted to get some context on that ranking?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think the hardest thing in the world to do is to do what we're doing today, and that's giving opinions on these AP rankings. I mean, I've said a couple of things today already, and people are saying, how can you say that? The bottom line, nobody knows. And I point toward last year with knowledgeable people telling me and you Penn State was the best team in the Big Ten and was going to win the national championship. They fired the coach. Clemson might be the best team ever in terms of, post Trevor Lawrence, and look what they had. They had a disastrous season, going 7-6. So I mean, I'm not trying to avoid trying to give you an analysis here, but I do warn people that 13 of the preseason AP 25 last year did not get ranked in the final poll.
All right. Well, I keep seeing all these stats about returning production. That seems to be a big talking point when these rankings come out, and I don't know if I'm kind of like you, but how much of that is reliable, and so I try not to put too much stock in it. But I mean, there's no.
By the way, thanks for the call. I mean, we are putting stock in it. We're talking about it, and but go back to last year. Big Ten media, they cover Indiana more than I do. I mean, I follow them from a long distance. They voted Indiana 6th in the Big Ten. They won the national championship. Johnny B is up next.
Hey, Paul, thanks for taking my call. All these polls coming out, and they're, Big Ten heavy at the top, and then, the SEC sprinkled throughout too. But, I've always thought that all this NIL and all would just be settled by a breakaway league. And I thought at the time Sankey had the power to do that, and I'm not sure why it wasn't pushed a little harder. But I don't see that ever coming now, even though he mentioned it at media days, because he fell right into the Big Ten trap. They talked him into doing 9 games. I mean, that right there is going to really, with the amount of talent we got, that's going to beat us up and keep us out of the playoffs and even into the playoffs beat up. But do you see any way of the breakaway league coming now, or do you think the Big Ten's got it where they want it?
I don't see the breakout coming yet. But by the way, I don't think the SEC is going to move without the Big Ten in terms of what all of that is, and that's really more about self-governance. I think that where you have to keep your eyes on is what happens in a couple of weeks in Washington. I hate to go back to that because I'm just so sick of that story, as I know you are. But you'll hear if that Senate bill does not move on, if it dies there, then you'll hear a lot of rhetoric from leaders, from presidents on down. I take all of that with a grain of salt.
Yeah. To me, the only way you could really, the only way they're going to settle all this, I don't see it Congress. It would have to be a whole new league with its whole rules identified. You jump in and everybody's playing by the same rules. But, I was thinking that would happen, but I don't see it now. But one other thing I was going to say is, I'd called some last week, and I was pretty high on Bama until we started getting all these injuries and stuff. And, to me, it goes back to training. If you think of the heydays at Alabama and the heydays at Georgia, Scott Cochran was at both places when they were doing their best. He's over at West Alabama, 8-5 last year. I'd do whatever I had to do to get him back over there and get us tough, because I think we were slipping in that free ice cream they bring into practice instead of doing some push-ups and running. But anyway, thanks for taking my call. I'm looking forward to season getting here and Roll Tide.
Thank you, Johnny. Always good to hear from you. Really appreciate it. Andy is in Tennessee. Andy?
Hey, thanks for taking my call, Paul.
Thank you.
I was going to talk about, I'm a huge dog fan up here in the Vol country, but the main reason I was calling, I think I called you a couple of times before in the past, years ago, about a high school up in Iowa that my son went to, the same high school that Caden Proctor graduated from. That they wound up taking 4 straight state championships, and it was 5A high school. But anyway, there's a quarterback. He's got 2 rings, state championship rings. He went to Iowa State, the Iowa State Cyclones, and they redshirted him. So I think he's eligible for playing for 3 years now. He'll be the starter this upcoming season. I just wanted to put the radar on him, let everybody know how phenomenal he is. His name's Connor Mobley.
Okay. I will certainly be watching. I mean, Iowa State's a good program. Hey, Andy, always good to hear from you. Thank you very, very much. Elliot is up next.
Paul Feinbaum, thank you for taking my call. Hey, I heard Trey's call on Thursday or Friday saying I needed to change it up. Look, I've been calling you since 2017, and I'm the only guy who predicted what's happening now is happening. And the other thing I got to thank Trey for, it's the highest form of flattery when they won't say your name and they make up another name for you, just like that team up north. We won't even say the name. That is rivalry. That is the highest form of a compliment from Trey. Thank you, sir. And speaking of that team up north and the Big Ten and Ohio State, here's what I think, Paul. I think Ohio State's ranked number 1 for a reason. I think they're going to be in that final game, and here's the one reason, is we have a kicker this year, Connor, and he's clutch. He can go for 50 yards. He has several 50-yard kicks. I mean, look, we lost by 3 points to Indiana last year. We lost at midnight as the ball was dropping, and Georgia beat us by 1 point.
That was about 4 years ago. Hey, Elliot, how would a kicker have helped you when Miami pummeled you at the line of scrimmage a couple of months ago?
I don't know. I think every point counts, and I think we've had a lot of close losses, and I think that that's going to bring us to victory this year, Paul.
Well, keep dreaming, Elliot. Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. Susie is up next.
Good afternoon, Paul, my friend.
Hey, Susie.
How are you? I am still alive. I've been up in Michigan since before Memorial Day.
Wow,
and
that's a long time.
On trips, yeah. I'll be here till mid-September, but been to Newfoundland, been to my hometown, just do a lot of traveling and enjoying, and have a garden with lots of tomatoes and zucchini and all that stuff. I listen to you still. I haven't forgotten you. So I've been trying to get in. I finally got in today, thank goodness. Good to hear your voice. A lot going on this summer, Paul, by hearing a lot of things. Can't wait to try to catch up and find out what's going on. But our girl, Laura Rutledge, is doing good things, Paul.
She most certainly is, Susie. Thanks for the call. Glad you're back. Adrian is up next.
So when I listen to Ryan Grubb, I'll go ahead and say I enjoy listening to him more than DeBoer in a press conference. And am I supposed to buy what he's selling?
I'm somewhat reluctant, but you're welcome to grab it at maybe in a couple of weeks for a discount.
I mean, it would just, it's like when something sounds too good to be true, that probably means that it is.
That's normally the rule.
Okay. It'll be interesting. I just, I love it, but I just, I don't know. Sometimes I think it's almost better to not set yourself up for that fall. So maybe I'm just subscribing to the theory that it's better.
Well,
to be
but I agree with you about. DeBoer is so
boring.
robotic. Where at least Grubb says something. I'm not sure I follow his school of logic, but it is more entertaining.
Well, I mean, and charisma means something. I just, please don't overpromise and underdeliver. I think I would also feel a little bit better if we're a little bit more transparent about the problems we're solving, because we know there are problems to solve, as opposed to just I don't know, I just felt like I got a lot of, we're doing this right, and we're doing this right, and we saw this and we saw that, and I'm like, right, but can you just not avoid the elephant in the room, which is our offensive line is doing this, and this is what's going to be different compared to last year. This is how we are improving our running game, and you don't have to do it in such a transparent way that you give away information to opposing teams, but you can be a little bit more specific if you want me to genuinely believe you're doing more than just going, yeah, we're taking care of it, and they're doing a really good job. So.
Well, there's so many conflicts here, but with what you're hearing, the one thing I warn everyone, Adrian, and somebody said, well, how come Alabama's not being picked to win at all? Because I think when you follow a team, and I'm for everyone following their team, you end up listening to a lot of sophisticated, knowledgeable people, but promoting, I wouldn't call them falsehoods, but I would call them accelerated hype. I read something today quoting a former player who went to the scrimmage the other day, who said, I'm really impressed because Alabama is more physical at contact. I thought they were pretty physical last year, other than maybe the Florida State game and the Indiana game, which they both took off. But in a lot of games they were. I mean, what does that mean? That's a random comment that looks good on a paid site to get more subscribers.
I think that's exactly what it is. I think there are buzzwords you can use, and it's sort of like there are times when you want to speak the truth, and by speaking the truth, you're giving a fact that happens to be true, but you're also lying by omission because you're not acknowledging that is only one component of a larger ecosystem that you've got to fix. So it's like, great, I'm proud of you for these little positive things, but I need to see the whole package come together.
And the great part about the season is you will. May take a little while, but we will all see it. Thanks for the call, Adrian. We're heading to a break. 45 minutes remain here, and we are coming right back.
You're listening to the Paul Feinbaum Show podcast.
When we go off the air, SEC Now will get you ready for what is happening in the camps, starting QBs, the AP poll reaction. Dylan is up next. Good afternoon, Dylan.
Good afternoon, my Black Hat brother. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you.
Paul, I don't understand where the sense of entitlement has come from for Alabama fans. And you know me, I'm a big Alabama fan, always have been, always will be, but I don't see why fans, and especially concerning the two that called in the first hour, is so bent out of shape over being ranked, was it 13? I mean, I don't really pay attention to rankings, but look at it this way. These rankings don't mean jack crap right now. It don't mean a damn thing, because, I mean, let's play the games and see how good we are. I mean, there's no sense in getting bent out of shape, because, I mean, in all reality, this is what I think, though. I think a lot of Alabama fans needs to get their act together, come off of Space Mountain, because here's one thing that happened. We got our ass drilled 38-3 in the Rose Bowl, and you got guys calling in bent out of shape for being ranked 13th. Man, I don't know. I don't see where we should be entitled to be in the top 10. To be honest with you, I think for once they got it right on Alabama. For once they did. But anyway, Paul, have a good one. The dirtiest player in the game is out of here.
Brad is up next in Georgia. Hey, Brad.
Paul, thanks for taking my call. Mr. Paul, thanks for taking my call and allowing me to be a guest on your show, which I will promptly, after our call, publish a post on X. I'm just messing around with the guy. He seems like a great guy, but I don't think he quite understands you'll let about almost anybody call your show. And it's an honor to call your show, but, I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you take everybody's call. But, Paul, can I recognize a couple of your callers, man?
Go.
John from Louisville, what a call from you today, man. You brought the heat. You brought the substance. You talked about teams. You talked about schedules. You talked about scenarios. Best call I've ever heard John from Louisville make, period. Hands down. Worst call I've heard. Andre, what are you thinking? Calling the Paul Feinbaum show with your ass on your shoulders because Alabama's not ranked higher? Dude, go get you a copy of Athlon. They got some left over. Read it. Alabama is just, they're not there yet, but you got a chance to fix it. But Paul, these polls are just for debate. We both know what determines who gets ranked the highest, and that is the amount of people you have coming back on your roster, and do you have a starting quarterback that was there the previous year? That's what does it. And if you look at all the top teams, they have all those. So that's the difference.
Well, you know something, Brad.
Yeah.
I did this thing with Matt Berry earlier, and this is not scripted. And he asked me the last question: who in the top 10 do you think shouldn't be there? And I'm like, so you're going through your head because I didn't have it in front of me. So I said Oklahoma because of the schedule, and you would think Oklahoma fans, like I spent the last 6 months working on that concept and decided to try to screw them over. I mean, you're on live television and you just literally go, okay, it's not Ohio State, it's not Indiana, it's not. I mean, you kind of go through a process of elimination in your head, which I did, and that's where we landed.
Well, you know something, Paul, and you do such a good job, is some people have something thrown at them, and you're good at taking whatever somebody throws at you and giving an answer. Some people just can't do that. Some people just don't know it. They just can't do it. And so they get caught, and then you wind up looking like you got egg on your face. But as far as entitlement goes, Dylan, you want to talk about an entitlement, man. I tell you, Paul, you know those pumps where you got a needle and you pump up the basketball or the football? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, somebody duct taped Dylan's mouth all the way around his head and put that needle and shoved it right up his nose and pumped his big old fat head up to the point where he can't even stick it outside his truck window. So, Dylan, the male Tillis, Dylan, please work on your calls, Dylan. Paul, enjoy it, brother, and I'll be posting a thank you again for as a guest on your show. Take care, brother.
Paul is up next in South Carolina. Hello, Paul.
Hey, Paul. I'm from South Carolina. I'm a diehard Alabama fan. I'm 21 years old, so I've seen the Tide be at their best. This AP poll today, I'm not very happy about it. All right, I'm a young guy. I've seen the Alabama be good, but Notre Dame, they don't play nobody. How are they top 4 in the country?
How is Notre Dame top 4 in the country?
Yeah.
They probably ought to be higher because they have an easy schedule and they have a loaded team starting at the quarterback position.
Well, that's what I'm saying. They're not the easy schedule. I mean, you're not like I'm a diehard Alabama fan, but they're playing.
But Paul, you're not judging this. This is an evaluation of looking at a schedule and saying I think that team should be there. I mean, I don't know how you could rank Notre Dame any lower. I mean, they would have to work hard to lose more than 2 games.
That's true, but I think there's still got to be a reward system for playing tough games.
Well, I mean, but that's ultimately up to the playoff committee. But this is just a beauty contest right now, and I think Notre Dame would probably be my second pick to win the national championship. And a lot of it is based on the fact that they have one very difficult road game and one incredibly difficult home game. And other than that, it's a cakewalk.
Yeah. Well, thank you for taking my call, Paul. I appreciate it. So I hope you have a good one.
Thank you. I'm glad you called. We'll take a break. 30 minutes remain here on a Monday afternoon. We're coming right back.
You're listening to the Paul Feinbaum Show podcast.
We're back, and AJ is up next.
Mr. Feinbaum, good day to you, sir.
Thank you.
I was looking at the AP poll. I'm so mad about it, Paul. I'm mad. Why ain't so-and-so in here? Why is there somebody over here? But, Paul, there's one thing I didn't see in there. And why is Clemson not in the top 25? You got any idea?
No, I called Dabo a minute ago. He hasn't called me back yet.
Oh, okay. When you get that note, be sure you share it out to the world. You got crying Chris out of Clemson over there calling, and he's still hung up on that. Quitting the Feinbaum after hours. Hadn't been here in 2 years, and he's still calling in here telling bold-faced lies. But you know what was funny about what he said on his call a while ago, Paul, was he kept talking about Clemson bringing home the hardware. They're going to bring home the hardware. Chris, the only thing only thing they're going to be bringing home is Tupperware, and that's going to be about it. And you might as well get used to it. And if you're going to call in here, tell the truth about what goes on and what don't go on, and what you've done and what you have not done, just like you do. Won't you just call in here and tell the truth about what Clemson hadn't done and is not going to do ever again? You was a 2-hit wonder, and your stuff's over with, so go take your fat head, roll it back up, and smoke it like that joint. War Damn Eagle.
Handsome Joe is up next.
Roll Tide roll, Paul. Hey, I like that Tupperware part right there. Hey, but Clemson don't use Tupperware, Paul. They drink tomato soup out of a Dixie cup. That's their idea of a perfect date right there. But Paul, I don't get hung too much up on these preseason polls. And Alabama, they shouldn't be ranked in the top 10. They shouldn't. I mean, yeah, people's going to talk, and include me. But these polls, Paul, right now everybody is undefeated from 0 all the way up to 4. Oh, and congratulations, Auburn and AJ. And all the borders on y'all's number 44th preseason ranking. But Paul, these rankings don't mean nothing, because right now everybody's 0-0. And I'll tell you what, when game week 1 starts off, everybody's got something to prove. And but as far as Dylan, which that was a good call by Brad, my brother Brad there. But Dylan, I'm not going to give him too much heat, Paul, because he when he calls in, he talks with a mouthful of chew in the back, and he don't realize he's supposed to spit the juice out. And Paul, but anyway, he got a kindergarten education, so he does the best he can. But anyway, Paul, I didn't get in Friday because they got me a new doctor, and my other doctor, she had moved actually to east side of Tennessee. So, but I got a close one there in Florence, Alabama, and they scheduled me an MRI. They're going to do another MRI on my right foot. And right now they've got it scheduled for next Monday, but I'm trying to get it done this week because I want to get it done as quick as possible. 'Cause you always want to get any kind of test done as soon as you can, as far as I'm concerned. But, Paul, you have a good one, brother. Good to hear your voice again. And, hey, it was good to hear Susie back. I love that woman with everything in me. Susie's a good woman. But anyway, Paul, you have a good peace, and roll Tide roll.
Trey is up next.
Hey, Paul. Did you have a good weekend?
Yes, sir.
Paul, when someone says over and over and over again they don't care, like Chris was doing, are their actions not really showing that they do care? If you keep complaining and saying you don't care, are you not really concerned about what people are saying? Am I not right?
You are right.
And have you ever seen so many adults on this show get so butthurt over what somebody said about them on this show? I don't get it, Paul. That's part of this show. I've been talked about on this show. And some of these people get so upset. And if you can't handle it, if you don't like it, I don't know why you're calling in. I think some of these people are going to have a heart attack, Paul. But I'll tell you this, too. Chris, nobody is jumping on the Clemson and Dabo bandwagon. no matter what they do. That is not happening, Paul. Thank you for taking my call, and I hope you have a great evening.
Vance is up next. Hey, Vance.
Hey, Paul. Sounds like a doctor's day. I went to a new tooth cracker this afternoon. First female dentist I ever had.
Really?
Wonderful person. Wonderful. I heard Adrian's call, and I try my best since I've done many times. But I had just gotten home in time to see Ryan Grubb's presence on the at the podium, and I'm like, what is he talking about? Where was this attitude against Florida State last year? Where was this against Georgia in that -3 yards rushing day, which I'm never going to get over? Where was that attitude and discussion against Indiana? So the season hadn't started. I understand people like talking about preseason polls and all that. We always have. It's good fodder for conversation, etc. We know it doesn't really matter, but come on, man. I mean, who are you? I can't put any faith, any belief. I didn't understand what that guy was saying. Is my point. I don't think you did. I don't think Adrian understood it. I was trying to make sense of it, Paul, but it really wasn't ringing true. What do you think?
No, I'm with you on that. I completely concur.
I mean, I'm not trying to. I don't want to beat up on my team before they even take the field, but come on, man. I mean, I don't know. You know what? We just got to wait and see what happens. And by the way, real quick, is that quarterback at Florida State that ran all over us last year, like Ernie Davis, is he back at Florida State? I think his last name was Castellano. He transferred from
he is gone.
Oh, praise God. We might have a chance. All right, Paul. Well, you have a good evening, my friend.
Thanks for the call. Appreciate it. I think the former Auburn quarterback is there now. Let's take a break. We still have a few minutes remaining.
Thank you for listening to the Best of the Paul Feinbaum Show podcast. Watch the Paul Feinbaum Show weekdays from 3 to 7 Eastern on the SEC Network. Plus, you can listen and watch on the ESPN app.